All for Latvia. Latvian Visual Latvijai was a nationalist and far-right political party in Latvia, led by ravists and Tarzan Imants Paradnieks. Formed in 2000, it entered a right-wing nationalist coalition in 2010, and ultimately merged with the For Fatherland and Freedom Party in 2011 to form the National Alliance. History. All for Latvia started as a political youth organization in 2000. After a ban on symbols similar to the Nazi swastika or the Soviet hammer and sickle in 2003, members of the organization protested outside the Latvian parliament with ethnographic symbols bearing reversed versions of the swastika associated with the Nazi regime. All for Latvia leaders and Tars Ravis defended the protest, arguing that the swastika is by no means something Hitler thought of. The swastika symbol has featured prominently in Latvian folk symbology for centuries. The organization became a political party in January 2006, running in that year's elections. It received 1.48% of vote and no seats in the parliament. Following that election, All for Latvia organized remembrance processions honoring the war dead of the Latvian Legion who fought against the Communist Soviet Union on the side of Nazi Germany during World War II. For the 2010 elections for the Saeima, All for Latvia joined forces in the National Alliance with the more established National Conservative Party for Fatherland and Freedom/LNK to field a common list of candidates. At the election, the list won 8 seats, 6 of them for All for Latvia. Deputy Vice Valdis Lasis, representing the party and a former member of the Latvian Legion, was elected chairman of the Parliamentary Committee of the Latvian government responsible for dealing with the Russian minority. On July 23, 2011, the For Fatherland and Freedom/LNK party and All for Latvia merged to form the National Alliance. In April 2013, All for Latvia officially established cooperation ties with the National Democratic Alliance, a major political association in the Russian Federation, which aims to create a Russian democratic state, which will break cleanly away from the Eurasian imperial legacy, opting instead for a European cultural and civilizational identity, based on the ideas of freedom and progress, and is sustaining a course for consistent rapprochement and cooperation with the European Union and NATO. Ideology. Latvian nationalism. All for Latvia supports making Latvian citizenship laws more restrictive, by introducing strict limits on the number of people who can be naturalized into Latvian citizenship in 1 year. All for Latvia would like to increase the percentage of ethnic Latvians from the current 59% of the Latvian population to at least 75%, by providing financial support to ethnic non-Latvians who would like to leave the country and ethnic Latvians from abroad who would like to return to Latvia. All for Latvia supports a greater role for the Latvian language and proposes to make it the only language of instruction in publicly funded primary and secondary schools, starting from 2015. The party is opposed to European federalism. All for Latvia supports protectionist economic policies to increase the role of locally owned businesses. It is supportive of the traditional family, opposed to homosexuality, gambling, and favors more restrictive regulation of alcohol sales. It believes that the common interests of the nation have a higher value than the interests of individual people. Accusations of fascism. Nils Maiznieks, a political scientist and former Latvia's Minister for Social Integration, later head of Council of Europe's Commission Against Racism and Intolerance, described All for Latvia as racist in 2005. The Independent correspondent Jonathan Nathan described the party as reportedly neo-Nazi. Political scientist Karlis Stoksts called it a neo-fascist organization, and its supporters were called a fascist legion by a columnist of a Russian newspaper in Latvia, Anatoly Kamenev. All for Latvia party leader Ravis Dzintars replied to accusations of fascism by stating that there were times when you could be called a fascist only because you replied in Latvian to a question asked in Russian. Aleksandrs Mirskis, MEP from Harmony Center, was successfully sued by All for Latvia and other National Alliance members for calling them fascists in public. In April 2013, Mirskis was found guilty by Riga District Court in smearing reputation of the plaintiffs and was asked to pay them damages.